In this section, we're going to be looking at the physical geography of Central Africa. As we read this section, I want you to think about the following questions. What is the Congo Basin? How do you think the Congo River's rapids and waterfalls affect the economy of the region? What part of Central Africa has a highland climate? Why have governments in the region set up national parks? Is it more important to use the forest's resources or to protect the natural environment, and why? And what is a periodic market? And what kinds of political problems might keep mineral resources from being fully developed? Think of those things as we read. Physical geography. If you lived there, you are on a nature hike with a guide through the forest of the Congo Basin. It has been several hours since you have seen any other people. Sometimes your guide has to cut a path through the thick vegetation, but mostly you try not to disturb any plants or animals. Suddenly, you reach a clearing and see a group of men working hard to load huge tree trunks onto big trucks. How do you feel about what you see? Building background. Much of Central Africa, particularly in the Congo Basin, is covered with thick tropical forests. The forests provide valuable resources, but people have different ideas about how the forest should be used. Forests are just one of the many types of landscapes in Central Africa. Physical features. Central Africa is bordered by the Atlantic Ocean in the west. In the east, it is bordered by a huge valley called the Western Rift Valley. The land in between has some of the highest mountains and biggest rivers in Africa. Landforms. You can think of the region as a big soup bowl with a wide rim. Near the middle of the bowl is the Congo Basin. In geography, a basin is generally flat region surrounded by high land, such as mountains and plateaus. Plateaus and low hills surround the Congo Basin. The highest mountains in Central Africa lie farther away from the basin along the Western Rift Valley. Some of these snow-capped mountains rise to more than 16,700 feet. Two lakes also lie along the rift, Lake Nyassa and Lake Tanganyika. Lake Nyassa is also called Lake Malawi. Rivers. The huge Congo River is fed by hundreds of smaller rivers. They drain the swampy Congo Basin and flow into the river as it runs toward the Atlantic. Many rapids and waterfalls lie along the route, especially near its mouth. These obstacles make it impossible for ships to travel from the interior of the Central Africa all the way to the Atlantic. The Congo provides an important transportation route in the interior. However, in the southern part of the region, the Zambezi River flows eastward toward the Indian Ocean. Many rivers in Angola and Zambia, as well as waters from Lake Nyassa, flow into the Zambezi. The Zambezi also has many waterfalls along its route, the most famous of which are the spectacular Victoria Falls. Okay, so here's a map of Central Africa, which shows some of its physical demographics. And as you can see, this shows the length of miles from one place to another, and this shows the height of the land area. Anything in bright red is more than 13,000 feet. And here's a picture. Local people call Victoria Falls Mosilo or Tunya, which means the smoke that thunders. The Zambezi River plunges 343 feet over a cliff between Zambia and Zimbabwe. So there is a picture of the Victoria Falls, and you can see there's a beautiful rainbow right there. Here's another picture, a map of Central Africa, and there's a picture of a gorilla. National parks in Central Africa protect the habitat of gorillas, which are endangered, and okapis below. So this is an okapis right there. It's kind of like a zebra, but not. Climate, vegetation, and animals. Central Africa lies along the equator and in the low latitudes. Therefore, the Congo Basin and much of the Atlantic coast have a humid tropical climate. These areas have warm temperatures all year and receive a lot of rainfall. This climate supports a large, dense tropical forest. The many kinds of tall trees in the forest form a complete canopy. The canopy is the utmost layer of the trees. Where the limbs spread out, canopy leaves block sunlight to the ground below. Such animals as gorillas, elephants, wild boars, and okapis live in the forest. The okapi is a short-legged relative of the giraffe. However, since little sunlight shines through the canopy, only a few animals live on the forest floor. Some animals, such as birds, monkeys, bats, and snakes, live in the trees. Many insects also live in Central Africa's forest. Okay, so the animals in Central Africa's tropical forests, as well as the forests themselves, are in danger. Large areas of forest are being cleared rapidly for farming and logging. Also, people hunt the large animals in the forest to get food. To promote protection of forests and other natural environments, governments have set up national parks areas in their countries. North and south of the Congo Basin are large areas with a tropical savanna climate. Those areas are warm all year, but they have distinct dry and wet seasons. There are grasslands, scattered trees, and shrubs. The high mountains in the east have a highland climate. Dry, steep, and even desert climates are found in the far southern part of the region. The tropical environment of Central Africa is good for growing crops. Most people in the region are subsistence farmers. However, many farmers are now beginning to grow crops for sale. Common crops are coffee, bananas, and corn. In rural areas, people trade agricultural and other products in periodic markets. A periodic market is an open-air trading market that is set up once or twice a week. Central Africa is rich in other natural resources as well. The large tropical forest provides timber, while the rivers provide a way to travel and to trade. The dams on the rivers produce hydroelectricity, an important energy resource. Other energy resources in the region include oil, natural gas, and coal. Central Africa also has many valuable minerals, including copper, uranium, tin, zinc, diamonds, gold, and cobalt. Of these, copper is the most important. Most of Africa's copper is found in the area called the Copper Belt. The Copper Belt stretches through northern Zambia and southern Democratic Republic of Congo. However, poor transportation systems and political problems have kept the region's resources from being fully developed. Summary and preview. Mighty rivers, the tropical forests of the Congo Basin, and mineral resources characterize the physical geography of Central Africa. These landscapes have influenced the region's history. Next, you will read about the Central Africa's history and culture.